Hello, I hope that you are doing great. Today we are going to cover the material in chapter 12, in which basically we are going to create a database in Amazon Web Service, and we are going to conduct some queries to extract valuable information from that database. Let's move on. First, you have to go to Amazon Web Service and go to Elastic Beanstalk, and you have to go to your environment. In my case, I have two environments. Then I select the Carbon App environment, and you have to go to configuration. And once that you are in configuration, you have to go to the very bottom and go to database, and we have to edit. And once that we are in the database, we are going to create a Postgres database, and you have to select the database. In your case, try to choose the micro 2, because that is going to be the free tier. Choose the username. In my case, I'm going to use Postgres. I also suggest you to use Postgres because this username appears a lot of time, and is kind of by default. This is the username that appears in many applications. But you can choose the username that you want. I want to choose a password here that is going to be only for this database. I will erase this database later on. Then when we finish the database, I'm going to delete it. Then apply this, and this will take several minutes until you create the database. Then I stop the video and I will continue when the database is created. Okay, we have finished to create the virtual environment, and now the health is my environment is now healthy because I created the virtual environment. We have to do one more thing, because now what we have to do is go to the databases in Amazon, that is RDS, and we have to open to change the security policy to allow access to the database. And basically we have to go to the database that we have created, and then here we have very relevant information. But the first thing that we have to do is to go to the security groups, VPC security groups, and we have to edit the inbound rules to allow the access to this database. Here we have to go to the inbound rules, and we have to edit inbound rules, and here we have to add a rule, and we are going to allow all the traffic. I'm going to do this from my IP. If you are in your home, basically this IP is permanent, it's not going to change. If you are at HoBL, this IP is going to change quite a lot. Then probably you will need to edit these inbound rules several times. If you are at NHOHO, they have some range of IPs, and then basically you are not going to need to change this, but it's super easy. If you try to access to your database and you are not allowed to do that, probably it's because these inbound rules is not correct, and then you have to follow the same steps that I have showed to you, and that's all. Then you check the rules, and that's all. Now I will come back to RDS again, because we are going to need here, if I go to RDS again, because we are going to need this information later on. Okay, I go to the databases again, and I go to the database that I have created right now. Okay, because I'm going to use I go like to ask you to copy this endpoint, because we are going to need it right now to create the tables and the databases. Okay, we have finished for now from our work in Amazon Web Service. Now we have to go to our computer, and you have to open the folder in which you have your application. And basically, so far what we have here in the init file is that we have worked with a SQLite database with two databases, one for the user and one for the dashboard. What we are going to do now is to create this database in the production that is going to be in the server, and therefore we need to change this, and basically we have to create those two databases, the user and the transport database, in the in Amazon Web Service, in the database kind of structure that we have created right now. Then to do that is very simple. You have to create DB bar. Here is this line of code. We are going to have a Postgres database. The username in my case is Postgres. The password is the password that I have created, and I'm going to erase this later on. I make a mistake before. I have to start the video again because I never use this password. And the endpoint here is the endpoint that I told you to copy from RDS. We paste it here. The port that is 5432. This is the port for Postgres databases, and the name of the database is always the same. Is EBDB, is by Elastic Bean database. Okay. Then we save this information. Now we have to go to the terminal and then type Python, and then in this case we have to, from cap import database, we have to go here, from cap import db, and now db create all. And then basically what we have done with this command line is exactly the same that we have done before, but now instead of creating the database in our computer, what we have done is create this database in Amazon Web Service, because we have introduced a connection to the database. Okay, we can quit from here. The next thing that we have to introduce is the changes in the GitHub account. Then I go to my GitHub account where I have my database, and here basically we have to protect the credentials. We don't have to have the usernames and the password and the kind of the host name that we have created. And then basically you have to go to your GitHub account and introduce this line of code here. It's basically the same philosophy and the same logic that we have done when we protect the secret key. We are creating environmental variables, and this is exactly what you are doing in this line of code. Then basically you have to be sure that these 4 line of codes are these ones, and that's all. And basically with this we have concluded this part in the GitHub. Now we come back again to Amazon Web Service and we go to CodePipeline. I go to my Carbon app and I go like to release the change right now. This can take some time because now it's with the database and everything, and I wait for that. Okay, everything seems that is working now. Then I will open this. Since that is working now, I open the URL. It seems that this is working. I will try something. I will try to register in the database. I'm going to introduce Bjork. And I'm going to introduce some credentials here. I sign up. This seems that is working fine. Bjork, introduce this, and then I log in. It's working. Then okay, this basically conclude this video, in which basically what we have done is to create a database in Amazon Web Service. What I would like to do in the next video is to populate this database, and we are going to connect this database or access to this database by using pgadmin, and we are going to create some queries to access some valuable information from this database. I hope that you have learned, and I hope that you have enjoyed the video. See you in the next video.